Can you imagine a world where the Oblivion remake actually comes to life, where all the rumours, all the speculation, it was all true? Now imagine after this game releases, imagine that it is fantastic, imagine it is a huge success and achieves everything that you wanted it to achieve. That is the dream, and at the moment I am a very big dreamer. And yes, you are correct in thinking another delusional Oblivion remake video has popped onto my feed, but I like to think many of us do share that delusion. Whether the game actually is releasing is a whole drama in itself, but today I'm talking about the what if. Today we're not just asking if it does exist, but we're exploring how the Oblivion remake could change Bethesda forever. Could it redefine their tech, their partnerships, their bond with their fans, even the entire franchise? This isn't about leaks or timelines. Even though Detective Seeds has predicted something huge for the 21st, this is about the seismic shifts this project might unleash. Before we do start, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. I do post weekly videos which I'm sure you will enjoy, and I cover everything to do with Oblivion and this supposed remake. But anyway, let's get into how the Oblivion remake could change Bethesda forever. Let's begin with the heart of Bethesda's challenge at the moment, and that is the fan trust. The studio's reputation has weathered storms, some, well, most of them self-inflicted, others magnified by a passionate community. Skyrim's legacy is undeniable, but its endless re-releases, Special Edition, Anniversary Edition, Switch, VR, started as a joke, but then turned into a groan. Another Skyrim port, people would say, and it became a meme, signalling stagnation over innovation. As well as that, you had Fallout 76's launch in 2018, and that was a gut punch. Bugs, empty promises. The confidence in Bethesda's quality control was shattered. Then you had Starfield again in 2023 and aimed to reclaim the glory. This ambitious space RPG, years in the making, but delivered a mixed bag. Very cool ideas, just bogged down by a dated design, terrible quests, and, well, a terrible bland world. Fans aren't just skeptical, they're mainly exhausted, just questioning if Bethesda still prioritizes them over profit. Now, let's enter this potential Oblivion remake into the fray. Is it a lifeline? If it lands in 2025, this could be Bethesda's chance to rebuild that trust, brick by brick. Imagine a remake that nails what made Oblivion magical, the Dark Brotherhood quests, the persuasion wheels, wrap that in modern polish, no crashes, no half-baked mechanics, no tacked on microtransactions, horse armor. And to me, that is a statement. We're listening and we are back. I like to think it's about recapturing that soul of a game that defined RPGs for a generation. Done right, it is a love letter, proof that Bethesda can honour their roots without exploiting them. Just picture closing an Oblivion Gate in 4K. Well, maybe don't actually, because Oblivion Gates absolutely suck, but I suppose you see where I'm coming from. Yes, I know, success here doesn't just heal old wounds, but it does set Elder Scrolls 6 up in a much better place. And that right now is the priority, I think, for absolutely everyone at Bethesda, the Elder Scrolls 6. Which I have talked about way too much. A stellar Oblivion remake could reset expectations for this game maybe, show Bethesda can deliver polish and passion, not just promises. Look at CD Projekt Red. Cyberpunk's redemption arc rebuilt trust through grit and updates. Bethesda could try and follow suit, Oblivion as their apology tool stop in a way, proving that they have learned. But the flip side is brutal. If it is a cash grab, say a hollow shell with paywalls or Fallout 76 level glitches, Jesus, it could snap that fragile trust for good. Fans do forgive bugs, but they do not forgive betrayal. But then again, can they really betray us if they haven't promised us anything at all? But anyway, let me turn on to a more transformative possibility, collaborative horizons for Bethesda. Quick side note, once again, if you are enjoying the video, be sure to like and subscribe. The rumoured Oblivion remake represents a significant departure, Bethesda outsourcing a cornerstone of their legacy to Virtuos, a studio with a proven track record. Now Virtuos isn't an unknown quantity, they've revitalised classics like Metal Gear Solid Delta and optimised the worlds of Outer Worlds for Switch. Their involvement in an Unreal Engine 5 powered Oblivion remake isn't merely a practical decision to alleviate Bethesda's workload. I like to think of it more as a strategic collaboration with a partner that is adept at reimagining beloved titles. If this project does succeed in 2025, if it even does release in 2025, it could herald a new era of openness, fundamentally altering how Bethesda approaches development and potentially reshaping their operational identity. Now, historically, Bethesda has been a very self-contained entity, crafting their worlds in-house with the creation engine. Titles like Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim are all forged in their Maryland studios, a hallmark of their Atua-like approach. Control from concept to release. Yet the Microsoft acquisition in 2021 has shifted the landscape, granting access to a broader ecosystem of resources and talent. Now, partnering with Virtuos for Oblivion suggests a willingness to experiment beyond this insular model. Should the remake deliver? It could serve as a proof of concept. External collaboration can amplify Bethesda's vision without actually compromising their soul. This isn't really about relinquishing the Elder Scrolls franchise, but I'd like to think of it more as broadening their scope, just expanding their mind a bit, being a bit more open-minded. You should really consider the possibilities that this actually unlocks, if this entire thing is true. A successful partnership might enlighten Bethesda to tap into other studios within Microsoft's orbit. Imagine Obsidian, architects of Fallout New Vegas, still a fan favourite benchmark I suppose, returning for a Fallout sequel maybe. Or perhaps Machine Games, known for the Wolfenstein cinematic intensity, reimagining Morrowind's alien landscape with a modern edge. Arcane Studios could craft a stealth-driven Elder Scrolls spin-off. There is so many possibilities to this, and it also just takes off the workload from Bethesda and also keeps us fed for the Elder Scrolls 6. In-house development has strained Bethesda. I mean, just look at Starfield, it pushed their team to the brink with mixed results. Outsourcing to other companies could alleviate such pressures, allowing Bethesda to actually focus on making the Elder Scrolls 6 what they promised us it would be. Success here might mean shorter waits for fans, fresher perspectives in their universes, and a lighter load on developers weary from crunch. I don't really see any negatives to this. If the game is bad, then Bethesda aren't necessarily there to be blamed, I suppose. You can just go ahead and be like, okay, it wasn't us. And that's good for them. That's the best thing that they would probably want. The collaboration isn't a mere delegation. I'd like to think it's more a calculated step to a more interconnected future between developers, one where Bethesda's legacy could expand through a shared expertise. Provided, I suppose, they choose their allies wisely and maintain their creative North Star. But finally, let's broaden our lens to the entire Elder Scrolls franchise itself, and its evolution. The Elder Scrolls series spans over 25 years, a benchmark of innovation from Morrowind's alien lands to Oblivion's heroic sprawl and Skyrim's dragon-slaying spectacle. Well, spectacle at the time I suppose, but nevertheless. I like to think each of these entries pushed boundaries, open world, player freedom, lore so deep it was practically academic at some points. Yet we all understand that the pace has slowed. Skyrim released in 2011. I bet some of you didn't even have kids, a wife, or even a house back then. I bet some of you guys were little toddlers maybe, crawling around. And we haven't got the game of Elder Scrolls 6. Teased in 2018, it just remains a distant promise. 2027 or later by my current predictions. Now this is where this whole Oblivion remake comes in. If it does arrive in 2025, it isn't just a nostalgia hit, I really think it is a chance to redefine how this franchise grows, potentially transforming Bethesda from a one sequel per decade studio into a dynamic force in RPG evolution. Now, let me explain. Success here could set a new blueprint. Imagine an Oblivion remake that nails modern design, everything that you would want. It's not just a win for us, but we could look at it more as a template for Bethesda. I like to think of it as this. Bethesda know where we are waiting for their next big release, and after the Elder Scrolls 6 does come out, we'll probably be wanting more. Now, if Bethesda can go ahead and outsource these games to different studios, they could provide a little remake or so within a few years just to keep us fed whilst they work on their big future games. To me, that sounds like a much better blueprint for the future. It keeps us all in the Elder Scrolls loop, it keeps us fed, it keeps us watered, and it keeps us interacting with their games. If Oblivion Remake does come out and it is successful, it is quite literally the go-to play for Bethesda. They can do it with Fallout as well. What's stopping them? As well as that, a successful Oblivion Remake rebuilds trust. Fans cheer a Bethesda game that actually listened, delivering quality over gimmicks. That trust fuels confidence in their partnerships. Virtuos' success could pave the way for a network of studios like I previously mentioned, but also allows Bethesda to take a little sample, I suppose you could say, from that game and see what fans actually want, what they reacted positively to, what they react negatively to. I don't think it's really a hot take by saying that Bethesda think they know what their fans want when in reality it's usually the complete opposite. And by putting out these little offshoot remakes, it would allow for more constructive feedback to be given rather than waiting like 5 years for a main title game. A huge problem with many of Bethesda's recent titles is how streamlined they've actually been. Now, if an Oblivion remake is true to its actual source, giving us detailed quests, amazing storylines like they previously did, I like to think it would tell Bethesda that their fans aren't actually stupid. They don't want dumbed down little caveman stories like they have been previously giving us. But then again, I don't think there might be much chance of that happening with a particular lead writer in charge named Emile Pagliarulo. But yeah, different topic for a different day. There is always that chance that if a remake does release and it absolutely flops, say a soulless reskin or a buggy mess, it could stall this whole evolution I'm talking about. Bethesda might retreat, playing it safe with the Elder Scrolls 6. Another Skyrim clone, great. But like I said at the start of the video, it's that what if? What if Bethesda really do pull this off? What if the game actually even releases in the first place? I find it absolutely insane how this is such a trending topic right now, basically made up out of thin air. Nothing announced by Bethesda whatsoever. Just a few leaks and speculation, and it's got thousands of people interested. A lot of people frustrated in the comments, sure, but I love talking about these kind of rumours and speculation. So, if anything else comes out, I suppose I'll have to drop a video on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this Oblivion remake even exists at all? And what kind of benefits do you think it could have for Bethesda's future? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as well if you made it all the way to the end. I like to think we are building a good community of Elder Scrolls fans here, which I really enjoy interacting with in the comments.